Okay, good morning. Hi, Luciana. How are you? Oh, I can't hear you. Oh, you're on mute. Yeah, it looks like you're still
Okay.
on mute.
Yes.
Oh, there you are.
Yes. I'm here. I'm sorry. I'm working out.
Oh, that's okay. Well, it looks
Okay.
like you're getting a private session today, so I'll
Yeah.
kind of go through some points with you, but it looks like we can probably wrap it up pretty quickly. So, do you have your own website?
Yes, I do. Yes. But
Okay.
I have zero SEO. I
Okay.
found out, they
Do
don't
you
provide.
Do you know if you own your website or is it hosted by another company?
I own it, but I
Okay.
pay every year
Okay, great.
to
So
have it.
if you have your own website, that's great because then if you build out an SEO strategy, it's going to if you were to like leave and go to a different website provider, for example, your SEO would still carry over. If you're paying like a monthly fee, that means probably you don't own it and that would be harder. Okay, so you're good. So
No,
you're set.
I own two domains,
Great.
and I have one link to the other, but I only use one, the name of the domain. And I've switched from several um providers. Right now, I have mine with Boomtown, but
Okay.
I found out they don't have SEO. So, all I get is leads from the Google leads that I pay for.
Yeah. Okay. So you are paying for doing some digital ads, so that's good. Um, so in order to rank on SEO, so there's no capacity for you to like write blogs, for example.
Yes, there is, but it's a very
Okay, I think you went on, sorry, you went on mute again.
okay.
There you are.
I it's very time consuming to write a blog, so
Yeah.
I haven't been able to, because
Okay.
I do create my newsletters curated um a lot. So I dedicate a lot of research for that. Um in my Instagram, I do my Instagram, Facebook. I do
Yeah.
series, so I take a lot of time to.
So what I would suggest is like the best way to actually get an SEO, like return on your investment from SEO is to have blog posts, but you don't need to start them from scratch. Like if you're already writing content for your newsletter or stuff on
Uh-huh.
Instagram and Facebook, I would use that same content that you've already written and just put it into a blog.
Do you
So
think I can make it a PDF, like in copy and paste, make it a PDF and then post it there
so
with the
I would
photos and everything?
I would check. I don't even think it needs to be a PDF. I would check with your web provider and ask them the process for just posting onto the blog. Usually there's like just this back end editor that you can just copy and paste whatever you put from the newsletter, just copy and paste it. And when you hit publish, it'll format automatically and it'll look nice. So I would say if you're already writing your own content for those other things, I would definitely just repurpose that as much as you can. So there's no need to recreate the wheel. Just get that stuff online. And there's a few benefits of doing that. One is you can start to rank for SEO. So you're going to want to think, if you're doing what market are you in?
Miami,
Okay.
Miami,
So
Florida.
if you do something on your Instagram or your newsletter about like the best beaches, or the best
Mm.
restaurants or the best happy hours, whatever, like best, whatever from Miami or top five, whatever. If you do anything like that, like that's this type of stuff that ranks really well for
I,
Google.
yeah, I do a lot of neighborhood. I go and I
Exactly.
feature the
Perfect.
neighborhood, and I talk about the history of the neighborhood, blah, blah, blah.
Perfect.
And then I give a little bit of real estate there. Like at the end, I can say, what kind of homes are there, what price
Yeah.
ranges are. And then I do also local with me. That's the title, where I feature restaurants. I go and I have lunch or dinner, and then I do a reel showing,
Yep.
this is a restaurant, blah, blah, blah. And I'm doing rooftops as well.
Those are all perfect posts for SEO, and those should definitely be on your website. So you can just literally copy and paste what you've written and just put it on there. So check with your website people about how you can add blogs, especially because it sounds like that exists already on your site. And they'll show you how to go into the back end and do that, or maybe you can send it to them and they can add it for you, depending on whatever the relationship is you have with them. But like you've already written the content, so just use it, because Google's gonna pick that stuff up and you're gonna start ranking really highly when people Google things, which is great.
Can I ask, do they, in the blogs, can you have pictures?
Yep.
Yeah,
And you could
okay,
put a
great.
link to videos too. You could even like link to your Instagram reel. So you can do a lot of different things, which is great. So I think that would be awesome for you. And the other benefit is, so I don't know if you've used the Compass version of like ChatGPT, the AI.
Yeah, I have, yeah.
Once you start having blogs on the internet, you can start telling ChatGPT or Compass AI to put things in your voice. So if you're like, oh, write something about, the best neighborhood for dog lovers in Miami or whatever, and it writes something, you go through and edit it, but you can say, put it in the voice of this article, something you've already written, and it's going to make it sound like you, so that it doesn't sound like, a robot. So the more content you have like on the internet, the more you're going to be able to teach Compass AI to speak like you.
Okay. Okay, so I'll try that too. That is great.
Yeah, because you're already doing it. So that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so this is my first step then. I'm gonna try to get the blog going, and then I'm gonna try starting to put the things there and see what happens. Are you gonna do these sessions frequently?
So this is the only one on website. I have 2 more sessions, one in November, one in December. And I think one is very general. I'll probably just like answer questions. And then the other one is about becoming a community, a name brand in your community, which website's part of that strategy. So it will touch on that. So yeah, and I'm happy to answer questions if you email me or send me a message on Instagram is fine too.
Okay, so I'll do that. I'm gonna try this, and if I have any questions, any issues, then I'll reach out to you.
Great.
Okay, that is great. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Absolutely. Enjoy your workout.
Okay, thank you.
I see
finishing.
We have 2 more people that have jumped on. Since it's a small group, I'm kind of doing questions. So I don't know, Jason or Tracy, I'm not sure if either of you are able to hop on, but I kind of started with Luciana to check to see if she had a website. She did. So we kind of jumped in with some things she could do to improve it. But anyway, happy to talk about your situation directly if either of you wants to hop in.
Yeah, I'd love to go first before Tracy, if that's okay. Tracy. Allison, very nice to virtually meet you.
You too.
I put my camera on right now, but I was doing some house cleaning, so I'm not in my best form right now.
No worries.
So I've actually owned multiple websites, and they've all performed very, very well. My first one and the brokerage that I owned for a number of years, we had a just ton of content, blog posts in the thousands.
Yep.
And so that did very well, use keywords. And I know Google has kind of like shied away from the emphasis on that with their new algorithms. And it's still important, but it's not as important. My next 2 that I own currently, one, I did more of a short tail than a long tail on it. And so I was hyper focused on one specific neighborhood in Boston, and it performs number 1 with luxury search. I'm number 1. Okay. Right. And that was a developer out in Russia, to be honest with you, who did a great job on it. My other website, I wanted more agent focused. And so that I went with luxury presence. And to be honest with you, aesthetically, it's beautiful, right? Performance wise, atrocious. Yeah. It's just not good. It does not perform remotely good as my other website, which has been around a lot longer for sure, but it's just not performing the way I want. Is there a blog on there? Yeah. Am I doing enough? No.
Yeah.
Is there a decent amount of content in neighborhoods? Yep, I have that going. It's got everything it needs that I think Google would identify as being a good, reputable website, but it's not performing. What do you think, in your opinion, would be a good avenue, shorter blog posts, because I can always outsource that, to help the performance on it?
So I've heard that feedback before on luxury presence. So I do not use them. So I don't have any direct feedback on them directly. But from what I understand, that's more of you pay monthly for that, right? You don't own the site.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. So I'm kind of locked in at this point, right? I mean, you could always go somewhere else for sure, but
Yeah, I think the trick. So do you own the other two outright, or are those also monthly?
the other one I sold off with the company when I sold my brokerage.
Got it.
And the
Got it.
other one I do own outright. Yeah.
Okay. Would it make sense? Like, I don't know. I don't know the answer to this. This might be something that you should, if I were you, I would talk to a couple different web developers and get their opinion on, okay, am I dead in the water if I'm losing sort of what I've built with luxury presence? Like, I think it's really, what I've heard is sites perform better that you own outright, that you can kind of tailor and customize a bit more. I've heard luxury presence is a bit more, because it's so similar to others that are on like the similar template. I can't remember. You sounds like you know more about the back end stuff than I do. I just know the what I need to do, not the technical portion of it. But what I've heard is that that can cause some issues with performance. I don't know, but I'm happy to send you the name of my developer who might be able to give you some others too, to talk to, like, if it makes sense for you to start over with a company where you're owning the platform. But, obviously, like you said, like the longer you own a platform, the better it's going to perform, the more content that you're pushing out. But do you think there'd be a way to tie, and I don't know what your sites are and how different they are, but do you think it would make more sense to have one site that has like different sections of the site for the various things that you're looking for, that all have different like landing pages, but it's really all on the same platform?
So I guess it depends, right? So, for instance, the website that performs well is dedicated to the Fenway neighborhood of Boston. All right. It's called fenwayluxury.com. Right.
Okay.
And it performs great. It's more of a high-end rental business. Like your average transaction is like 4,000 to 6,000 in commission, which is fine when you're turning those in there. It's a great incubator for potential prospective buyers down the road, right?
Yeah.
And so use that for people that worked under me for a year. So here you go. Here's some prospects, convert them. So I've seen many different brokerages use the same model with different websites to just start generating prospects left and right.
Because you can be more specific and targeted.
Yes. Yeah, your short tail is far more. You get a more qualified lead coming in on a short tail. So if you did Boston, right, you're going to get this nebulous of people, Charlestown to Roxbury to wherever.
Yeah.
But if you get Back Bay, which, or Beacon Hill, which are very, very expensive communities, and you just do that one thing, then you're getting a higher conversion rate on that one specific lead coming in. Now you're not getting, 100 a day. Maybe you're getting 1 or 3 every day, but the conversion rate's much, much higher. So I believe in generating multiple websites and then having them all kind of linked together to kind of elevate maybe your agent page. That's in my head, but things move so quickly in that world with search engines that you could do something that performs great today, and then they're going to switch the algorithm on you, and therefore it's not going to do great tomorrow.
So if the one's performing that well that you had built, you said the one that you have currently is the one that was in Russia. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Would you not just want to start another one with that same developer, or do you just really feel like you're locked in at this point with luxury presence?
I don't think I'm necessarily locked in. I mean, I think aesthetically it looks great. I mean, it really does. But if I'm not getting any traffic on it, does it really matter how nice it looks?
So you're basically using it more as like a business card right now, like a digital business card.
Yeah.
So I think I would think about like what the goal is. Like what do you feel like the goal of your website is? Is it to be a lead magnet, to be a lead generator? And if so, like, maybe it does make sense to switch it up. Or are you just looking for something that if someone is already looking for you really sells them on you? And I'm sure you can find a developer that's able to kind of package both of those things.
Yeah.
I do think the lead, if you are heavily going on the lead things, I think there's websites that are going to be, or developers that are going to be much stronger at that. And I think the look part is less difficult. I think there's fewer people who really know what they're doing on the lead side.
Yeah. Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah. And I guess my final question is, have you heard, and I think it is in the news, that Compass bought Luxury Presence?
I have not heard that. No.
I think in September something they might have bought it. So I'm wondering.
I'm not surprised. I know they've been closely affiliated.
Yeah.
And they push them out a lot. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, here's what I think: Luxury Presence is beautiful and great for, like, if everyone at the company is going to get a Luxury Presence website for free, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
But I don't think that that's the answer for intentional lead campaigns, if that makes sense. I think that's a better version of kind of just our Compass page. Like, I think that's great, because I think for most people, they're not really trying to lead gen on websites. At least in my experience, like when I talk to people about that, they're like, wow, really? You get business off your website? Like, it's confusing for a lot of people. So I think for people who just want to look good when people are already searching for them, I think having a Luxury Presence website for everyone in the company would be awesome. I don't think that that's going to be a big lead generator, though.
I agree.
Personally.
Quick question, Alison. Are you familiar with Boomtown? What do you think about them?
So I don't know much about their websites. I know that I know a lot of agents that used to use Boomtown in a coaching group that I was with several years ago. A lot of people use that, and I know people did generate lots of leads off of it. But I think there's also, like, you're paying pretty heavily for that, I think. Is that right?
I pay $250 a month to get leads from Google.
Okay.
It's Google.
That's actually
it's not that bad.
That's not bad. I think the people I knew were investing thousands.
A lot. Yeah, no. But in reality, I converted maybe 2 leads from those.
Yeah.
So far.
And so are those mostly ads that are being placed, or how does that work? How are those leads coming in? What are they coming in from?
From my website. They go into my website. So I guess when the Google plays me, like when somebody's searching, a property in Miami or something, and then on the areas all the cities and neighborhoods that I put it on, then one of these leads, if they are interested, they click on, they get my website, then they register. A lot of them put the wrong phone number.
Yeah.
But some are
it's like an
real.
opt-in. It's like an opt-in to see the listings. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. Yes.
Yeah. I think that's kind of tough, because I think people can get that information elsewhere if they just Google the property.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's great that you're getting, like, how many leads are you getting compared to what is being converted?
I have over 200 leads. And some I've been working. I made collections. I've been standing. I don't know if they are not ready to go. Another
1% is
sold
standard.
well.
I think they're probably just coming in further down the pipeline, and they're probably putting feelers out in multiple places. So, that conversion is not unheard of. I'm sorry, go ahead, Jason.
So if I could make a suggestion, 1% is kind of like the standard kind of conversion rate. If you get anywhere from 2 to 5%, you're doing really, really well. I have a colleague that does ads on Google search, and it's tailored specific per neighborhood, kind of like what I was talking about, the short tail. And his conversion rate's much higher. It's more expensive. It's very pricey, but his conversion rate's higher. But it's all what you get back, right? If you've spent $1,000 and you get, a commission for $20,000, it's worth it all day. You do that all day, 10 times a day. But he puts these people in a automated drip campaign, and he might do that for a year or 2 years. And eventually, if you're diligent and you stay with it, the prospects that didn't really respond or didn't go anywhere, it might come back around. So it's a very drawn out process when you're looking at a website or lead conversions from online.
Okay. Yeah, I
Yeah.
have all of them on a drip campaign, and some of them I have in addition to the drip campaign. I have them on a collection at the Compass site. The ones that I've been talking longer, all of them go immediately into a drip campaign, but the ones that I get to talk, and I put them on a collection in Compass.
I think
And
it's
I've been
important
ready.
just to think about, again, going back to like, what is your goal with the site and what are you trying to do? Like, so for us, our goal is not necessarily like quantity of leads. We're looking for more like fewer leads, but that are more quality. So like our conversion rate's pretty high, and I don't have the numbers off the top of my head, but I mean, significantly higher, but we're not getting a huge volume because we don't have a lot of like things that you have to opt into. We have very few things that you have to give your email address on our site to for us to get the lead. So for example, we have guides on our website, like first time home buyer guide, move up guide, downsizing guide, community guides. Like, so the conversion on those is probably over 50%.
But you require them to send your email in
those,
order to get the guide, right?
yes, correct. But like, I don't really actively, we get a ton of people off because we rank pretty highly on SEO. We don't really spend money too much. We do have a retargeting ad campaign. So for example, if someone's on one of our blogs that ranks very highly, so in our market, like we're in the top couple posts for like coffee shops in our area, a lot of community posts were at the very top. And so we sort of are playing a long game. A lot of people sign up for our weekly newsletter. And so we're kind of like building that out over time. And then we're pushing the guides in those things. And when someone's submitting a guide information, we're almost always setting an appointment and almost always converting them as a client and getting them under contract in pretty short order. So like we're not going for like the quantity of leads. Like we're not asking for a lot of opt-ins, but we do try to stay in front of people. And, you know, kind of tying into the next session I was telling you about kind of being a name brand in the community. Like I went to preschool, my son's first day, and I had multiple people be like, oh my gosh, I know who you are because I've read your blog about preschools in Alexandria. And so, you know, that's part of how I picked this school, blah, blah, blah. And that happens to me all the time where like people know who I am because they read my blogs like consistently. And they're always like, as soon as I move, I'm using you. And like, I just closed someone that I met first because of a blog that she called me about, which was totally unrelated to real estate. And then we've just stayed in touch and became a client. So what my goal is different. It's more of a community expert that kind of converts over time. But like, you have to think about what your specific goal is and what you're doing. Because you don't want to direct energy or money at something that you either can't sustain or you're not going to invest, you know, what you need to. So
that's my concern, because I've been spending this money, you know, for leads, and I don't think those are, not all are my kind of lead people that I would like to work with. And in addition, I'm doing to, just because I need to expand my business. Okay, I used to work mostly with foreigners, and I want to work with my local community. So that's why I'm doing the Instagram, and I'm writing about the neighborhoods and the history about the neighborhoods and the local places to go,
I
etc.
would lean into that because those are all things that are going to rank really well. You know, Miami is a big market. So I think the more specific you can, focusing on a few like smaller communities, you're probably going to get more traction than trying to get like all of Miami.
Right. And let me ask, so people that go to ask for your guide, because I do have first time like a buyer's guide. I have several sellers, you know, checklists and a lot of things like this. But how do people go to your website looking for that if you don't place an ad?
So sometimes they're not looking for that. Sometimes they see an article I wrote about something else and I'll link to the guide in that article. And then I also put them out all the time on my social media and in our email newsletters, always link to some sort of way to kind of loop people in. And then, like I said, if they're on like just a community blog post, they're going to get an ad at some point to either like meet me for coffee or to download our move up guide or whatever. So they're going to get retargeting ads. So I spend more money on like retargeting people that are that are on our website, either intentionally or because they found it through SEO.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm tired of spending money on Google Ads, and it's been almost 2 years.
Yeah, I would think about what your time, like you should start tracking how much time you're spending, and how much money you're spending and look at the commission dollars at the end of the year and see what it brought in and just decide if that makes sense for you or not. So it's different for everybody. So either double down and like lean in or cut it and pivot it to something else that you feel like you can sustain. And
Yeah,
I want
because
to get to Tracy real
okay,
quick,
go to
just because
Tracy.
we only have a
Yeah.
few minutes left. So Tracy, are you just using currently the Compass page that you get?
Actually, our Houston Association of Realtors has such fabulous tools. I'm actually directing everyone to my HER website.
Okay.
Has more to offer, but I would love to be able to utilize our beautiful Compass website. I didn't know if there's a way to customize it a little bit more or.
A little bit. So, if you work with, usually your AEM can help you. Like I just had our AEM add some like different widgets and things like that to our Compass agent pages, because I think those are important too. Even if you have your own website, that your Compass agent page looks good, because those do rank highly too if someone's just Googling your name. And I think agents use that a lot when they're looking to give referrals to other agents. So I think it's definitely important to enhance that as much as you can. I think there is a video, I'm not sure exactly where, but your AEM can probably tell you on where exactly to customize it. I know Dylan McGuire and the 6 a.m.ers did a session on that. And I'm sure Compass Academy has it, and maybe even in Playbook, I'm not sure, but basically you can add a widget to like your Instagram page. You can add awards that you've gotten. You can kind of customize your sale history a little bit. So there's several things that you can do to make it a little bit more you and to be a little bit more robust. So I would think about like the things that you like on your HAR site and see if you can just get those added in. There's a couple things you can edit on your own in the back end of the Compass website. But for a lot of it, you have to have your AEM do it. So they would be a good resource because they're going to know like all the different options. And just if you know other Compass agents, like check out theirs and see what they have on their pages and take some notes. So like think of, 10 Compass agents that like, and respect that you think might have a good page, and look them up and go from there.
I'm looking for, and I just haven't seen the value yet on doing a third, website and paying for that. I'd rather spend my marketing monies elsewhere.
And that is totally valid. So you just have to decide, like, again, back to the goal, like what kind of budget do you have? What kind of time do you have to keep something up? I think having your own website to me is really powerful, because I am sort of, I do like to have a lot of community content in there. And I do a lot of like driving leads to various, pages on our website. And I also use it for like, I have a lot of explainer blogs about different parts of the process that I direct my clients to. So I do that pretty frequently. And so for me, having like all of those tools available is really important. But it's not for everybody. So if it's not, I would just lean into the free ones that you have and figure out how you can optimize those to the best of your ability and get as much information as you can in there. And maybe even try to link to, some resources like in your copy. You could put links to, if you have a flip book that explains something, or just think about how you can personalize it as best you can.
Okay, can you quantify that for me? Do you know how many clients you get off your website that become clients?
Yeah, I probably have about 20 a year
Okay, well, that's great.
that are just from the website. I have others, like I said, like the one that I just referenced, like she's website, but then also became at a, you know, my son's school. So, you know, some of them are kind of like hybrids, but honestly, for me, it's not just the lead gen. I really do send clients to our blogs all the time, explaining different parts of the process. Like it's become part of my business, like how I take the client through the journey of the transaction.
Oh, great idea. Thank you so much.
Yeah. I think we're at time, but if anyone has other questions, like I said, I'll just type my email address in here so you have it. And my Instagram. So feel free to reach out either way, and happy to continue the conversation.
Thank you very much, Allison. Have a great
Okay.
day.
Have a great day.